The Thoroughbred is a magnificent animal, bred for speed, bred to compete, the sport of kings.
Wow, West Coast has it by 6.
It's the all-new Let's Go Racing from Parks Casino and Racetrack. It's action-packed and fun for the entire family.
3 of them are right together with 1 furlong to go.
Let's Go Racing is brought to you by the Pennsylvania Thoroughbred Horsemen's Association. It's fun to see them run.
A very pleasant good morning, racing fans, and welcome here to Parks Racing for Let's Go Racing. On the show today, we're just about to get into the meat of the 3-year-old season. The Travers Stakes just 1 week away, and the Kentucky Derby another 4 weeks after that. Dick and I will talk some 3-year-olds here at the top of the show. On the racetrack, we'll take a look at the San Diego Handicap. Bob Baffert saddling maximum security for the very first time. He was 2-5. We'll see how he ran in that one. Some guy named Asmussen has another terrific sprinter. And we'll take a look back at the 2015 Breeders' Cup. A local horse named Favorite Tail was down competing in that. We'll have that coming up in just a little bit. Hi, everybody. Keith Jones down at the beautiful first floor here at Parks Racing, and my masked buddy Dick Girardi. And Dick, before we get to the 3-year-olds, as I said, we're about to get into the meat of the season.
Yep.
Locally, we've been wondering about the stake schedule here at Parks, the Cotillion, the Pennsylvania Derby, and all the other stakes that were on the schedule. You have an update on that.
Yeah, so Dave-O told me, Keith, that at the moment, the only stakes races on the schedule are PA Day at the races, which we think are going to be on Labor Day. I don't know that that's definite yet.
Okay.
But at the moment, there's no other stakes scheduled, and it's getting kind of late to schedule them at this point. So I think, unfortunately, unless something changes here, there's probably not going to be a PA Derby or Cotillion. And I think everybody will understand why, because of the Derby move back. The Preakness is 4 weeks from the Derby. The PA Derby would be right in the middle of that. The timing just doesn't work this year. The good news is, if you skip a year, you do not lose your grade, then hopefully next year everything gets back to normal. And the PA Derby and Cotillion, of course, have had this great spot on the calendar as the final big races for 3-year-olds prior to the Breeders' Cup. But look, everything's upside down this year, including, unfortunately, it looks like we're going to lose our 2 big races.
Now, Dick, just 1 week from today, we're going to have the Travers Stakes up in New York. They've had to move that up in the schedule as well.
Yep.
Barclay Tagg has made no bones about the fact that he would love to win the race with 'Tis the Law. But Dick, the race is 1.25 miles. The Kentucky Derby is 4 weeks after that.
Yep.
That's at 1.25 miles.
Yep.
That's something we never see. You never see a horse run twice in 4 weeks at 1.25 miles.
And that you don't, but here's the good news, Keith, because it's later in the year, and 'Tis the Law is a very developed 3-year-old. Look, they would never try this if it was March to May or April to May. But the fact that it's August to September, I think, gives them a little better chance of succeeding at that. But yeah, you're right. Typically, you don't want to do that.
Now, you look at the potential field for the first one, the Travers. Most of the top 3-year-olds look like they're probably going to be looking forward to the Derby. Not that the Travers Stakes is ever an easy race, but is he going to get fortunate and maybe pick up a field that he can handle?
Well, it sounds like Uncle Chuck is going to come from Baffert from the West Coast. But yeah, I mean, a lot of the really good 3-year-olds, NY Traffic, obviously Haskell right to the Derby. King Guillermo hasn't run in months. They're already at Churchill Downs getting ready to run. Honor AP is going to run this weekend in the Shared Belief at Santa Anita. So yeah, I think it's not going to be a super strong field. But that's, again, that's 2020. And I'm reasonably convinced, Keith, there's not going to be 20 horses in the Derby this year. I just don't see 20 horses pointing for the race at the moment.
It's interesting when you look at the potential field for the Kentucky Derby. You have a number of contenders that have a very similar running style. 'Tis the Law likes to be up close to the pace. Art Collector likes to be up close to the pace. New York Traffic likes to be up close to the pace. Who's going to get the best position?
Yeah, I mean, to me, it's probably going to be Authentic is going to be loose on the lead at the moment. Whether he wants to go that far or not is the question. He's probably the fastest of the group who are headed for the Derby, but yeah, there are similar, and I would say this about 'Tis the Law and Art Collector specifically. They're 2-way horses. They don't need to be anywhere near the lead. They can run from mid-pack or from the back. So if the pace is hot, they can sit 7th, 8th, or 9th.
Dick, it's going to be very interesting here as we get through the fall season.
No question. Look, I'm rooting for Art Collector at this point, only because I got him at 25-1 in the future book, but any of a half a dozen horses could win the race.
I won't tell John Finelli that you're rooting for Art Collector.
And if I have to get beat, I'd be happy to get beat by NY Traffic.
And let's get on to the racetrack now. And our national race of the week is brought to you by Chapman Auto Group. Unless our emblem is on the back of your car or truck, you probably paid too much. And Dick, it's the San Diego Handicap and the long-awaited return of some guy named Maximum Security.
Yeah, I mean, what a record, Keith. He's been out 10 times, and he's probably a stumble at the start in the race at the Pegasus at Monmouth last year from winning all 10, or at least finishing first. Of course, memorably got DQ'd in the Derby and lost that race by a leg. Otherwise, he's been perfect, but he hasn't raced in Saudi Arabia. He's now racing with a new trainer. Jason Service, of course, got indicted. Everybody wants to know is how much of an effect is that going to have? What was going on? We're about to find out.
Dick, something other that's interesting to note in terms of changing the barns with Jason and Bob Baffert, they train their horses in a completely different way. With Jason, Maximum Security was used to those long, slow gallops that he put into them. Bob does not train his horses that way. It's completely different.
Yeah, they're much faster works, and it's interesting, Keith, because I've watched all of Maximum Security's works, and I was really concerned at the beginning because I just didn't think he had his speed anymore. I didn't notice it. I thought the works were progressively getting better, but I would say this, coming into this race, this does not look like a classic Baffert workhorse coming in, but part of it may be due to what you're saying. He's used to being trained one way, and obviously that worked really well, but now it's a completely different method of operation.
Second choice, number 1, Higher Power, 7-2 for trainer John Sadler. And Dick, as you look at his past performances, his reputation seems to, at this point, be based on one race.
Yeah, he had that one unbelievable race in the Pacific Classic last year when he got 107, but really never did anything before. Hasn't done anything since, but that race is the reputation builder.
And they're still betting him at 7-2. Let's get the call. Maximum Security, the San Diego Handicap.
They're off in the San Diego, and it was not a good start for Combatant, who hopped in the air at the break, and Maximum Security goes immediately to the early lead. Midcourt is sent along after him, though, so some early company for Maximum Security into that first turn. Midcourt clings to him on the outside. Second, Higher Power is third, X-Man fourth, and the trailer on that first turn is Combatant. So they make their way around the turn to the backstretch, and now it will be Midcourt to take over after a 23.74 opening quarter mile. And Higher Power has moved up on the outside, and Maximum Security is now 2.5 lengths off of them as they enter the backstretch. He's lost ground to these top two. Then comes Axeman back there running in fourth position, and Combatant trails the field. Up the backstretch in the San Diego Handicap, Midcourt is the leader, on top by 2. Higher Power is second, Maximum Security third, and now being nudged along to go as they make their way into the far turn. The half mile was 46.87 seconds, so into the turn they go with Midcourt the leader by 2.5 lengths. Maximum Security under pressure on the outside, now takes second. Higher Power comes under a ride, starts to backpedal in third. Axeman is fourth, Combatant trying to make up some ground from the back of the pack. Coming toward the top of the stretch, Midcourt is the leader. Maximum Security trying hard, a length and a half behind, and they're into the stretch. And it's Midcourt off the turn. Maximum Security comes up to him on the outside. Axeman is down the center. Higher Power and Combatant. Maximum Security still has to get by Midcourt. Midcourt fighting him all the way down to the wire. Maximum Security has the lead. Midcourt, it's going to be a photo finish.
Well, Dick, this turned into an absolute thriller. Midcourt at 6-1 on the inside, giving everything he had. Maximum Security, late rally on the outside, and Dick, as they came to the wire, I actually thought Midcourt got the head bob, but he did not. Maximum Security got the nod, won it by a nose, and paid $2.80 to win. The first comment I want to make, Dick, is the other jockeys, when I watched the race unfold, the other jockeys wanted to make sure Maximum Security was not in his comfort zone.
No doubt. Now you can see, certainly Victor Espinoza was under orders to try to get to the front with Midcourt, and then Flavien Prat did the same thing and put Maximum Security back to third. Keith, having said that, my biggest concern would be, as I'm watching Maximum Security, they went the first quarter in 23.74. After breaking 2 on top, he couldn't keep up. That's a problem, because this horse's best thing is his speed. Now, Baffert said after the race he wishes the jockey just would have set him and go. Maybe he just doesn't have that speed he had before. We need to see a little more, but I would say this, in the Pacific Classic, I will be lined up to bet against Maximum Security. I did not like this race at all. I'm not saying he can't win, because Baffert's the greatest. He said he's 80% and all of that, but he'll be 2-5, 3-5 again. If there's somebody in there that can actually beat him, which may not happen, then I'm probably going to have to bet against the horse I really like.
Well, let's get to our first break if we come back here on Let's Go Racing. Remember Favorite Tale?
Yes.
Yeah? 2015 Breeders' Cup?
I was there. So was Bruce with his camera.
We'll be right back with that after this.
Favorite Tale on the outside and fourth.
Racehorses are pampered.
Treated with care and loved.
Nothing is more important than their health and their safety.
We do right by them,
And they do right by us.
the hard-working folks
Who proudly earn our living.
In Pennsylvania's horse racing,
and breeding industries.
Horse racing is a lot of fun.
but it's so much more.
It provides tens of thousands of jobs,
Jobs and billions in economic impact each year.
all across the Commonwealth.
Horse racing in Pennsylvania. It's a winner.
Looking to join the thrill and excitement of thoroughbred racehorse ownership? Pewter Stable can get you started. With more than 25 years of experience under the leadership of Greg and Kate DeMasi, Pewter Stable is one of the industry's leaders in racing partnerships, winning hundreds of races and millions of dollars at racetracks all over the Mid-Atlantic, including New York. No markup, no management fees makes our partnerships unique and affordable. We are Pewter Stable.
Welcome back, everyone, to Park Racing for Let's Go Racing. Our feature segment today features one of our great trainers here. He's a Hall of Fame trainer, and Dick Lupe Preciado is closing in on 2,000 career wins. You have a story up this week on Let'sGoRacingParks.com.
Yeah, Lupe is one of the great guys and obviously one of the great trainers in the history of this racetrack, 3 decades plus now, and 1,987 wins as we speak, Keith, and had 3 in a row that you got to call a week ago Tuesday. That doesn't happen very often. He did tell me he won 5. And of course, Lupe's greatest horse was the PA bred owned by Paul Conaway, Favorite Tale, and Bruce and I were there at Keeneland. It's hard to believe it's already been 5 years ago.
Unbelievable,
We
yeah.
were there for the Breeders' Cup when Favorite Tale ran such an incredible race.
Well, let's take a look back at the Breeders' Cup from 2015. Favorite Tale.
Hey, baby, let's go racing. Fly, favorite fly. The road to victory. Fly, favorite fly.
Good boy, favorite. Stay calm, honey.
We got to sprint them.
So we hear sprinting racing, huh?
Right? It's worth going slow down the front.
Yeah, good.
Get home, favorite. Come on, boy.
You got to be pretty confident you got Javier, one of the best jockeys in the world, on.
Just absolutely so pleased. What a nice gentleman he is.
And they're off. Favorite Tale is fourth, looking to the far outside off the turn. Run Happy takes aim with Favorite Tale on the outside and fourth. Run Happy, and boy, does this horse love to run. The aptly named Run Happy for Edgar Prado to take it. And then it was Private Zone home second, and Favorite Tale got third.
Well, Dick, Favorite Tale ended up finishing third that day in the Breeders' Cup, but it was a tremendous third at that. And for a guy like Lupe, who trains at, he doesn't train at Belmont, he doesn't train at Keeneland,
Right.
That was a huge moment in his career, very emotional.
Yeah, and they'd spent a year. Paul and Lupe had mapped this out to get the horse down to Keeneland in great shape, Keith. And as I wrote about in the story, and Lupe was telling me, and I talked to him, you remember he got caught up in that quarantine in the fall of 2015. For the longest time, it didn't even look like they're going to let him leave the backstretch. Finally, he got to go. He went to a private farm. Then he went to Delaware Park to work. Then they had to van him late to Churchill. To Keeneland. The van broke down. It was whatever could go wrong, did go wrong. Then he gets the 14 post, and then he gives you that kind of an effort. It was a tremendous training job. Yeah, I think if things had gone maybe a little according to plan, maybe he even beats the great Run Happy.
Yeah.
Not easy to do,
Yeah.
obviously, because Run Happy is one of the best, but boy, what a sensational effort, and the emotion of that day. Lupe's family's there, Paul's family.
Yeah.
It was something. I mean, Bruce and I got to see it up close. It's always fun to see the local horses do well, but to watch the people and their reaction when they get in that stage and to see their horse run that well.
Great to look back at some of those horses that we've had a chance to enjoy here at Parks. Dick, let's get to some more national coverage. We're going to head up to Saratoga for the Grade 1 Vanderbilt, the old 6-furlong sprint. Not too many Grade 1 sprint races anymore, $250,000 purse. I mentioned at the top of the show, some guy named Asmussen has another top sprinter. Tell us about this number 4, Volatile. It goes off at 2 to 5.
So Volatile comes off 112 buyer in the Aristides last time at Churchill when he went 107-2. Just a crazy wild race. He wins by 8. Keith, this race kind of changed when Lexingtonian went nuts in the gate. He had to scratch down to a 4-horse field. Whitmore broke through the gate. It was like really wacky, but Volatile looked like Lone Speed and the best horse, and he was bet like it at 2 to 5.
Dick, you mentioned Whitmore. He goes off in second choice at 4 to 1. And as I was getting ready for the show today, over the years we have not given him enough props.
Now, what a neat horse! 34 starts, 14 wins, 10 seconds, 3.1 million. Now he's not quite good enough to beat the very best sprinters in like a Breeders' Cup, but he's good enough to make them all run hard.
Let's take a look at the Grade 1 Vanderbilt. Volatile is 2 to 5.
Volatile getting clear here now to lead by a full length. Mind Control, second by a head. Whitmore down on the inside in third, and Firenze Fire. Volatile ran the opening quarter mile, 23-2. The pace is slow here for Volatile, who has the lead. On the outside is Mind Control. Whitmore is down at the rail, and Firenze Fire. They race around the far turn. It is Volatile on top. Now Firenze Fire is going to make his move on the outside of Mind Control, and Whitmore is down at the rail. The field is at the top of the stretch, the half mile in 46 3/5 seconds, and it is Volatile with the lead as they come down for the 8th pole. Volatile in front by 2. Whitmore is down at the rail, Firenze Fire and Mind Control. It's Volatile in front as they pass the 16th pole.
Well, Dick, you mentioned Volatile was going to be Lone Speed. At Lone Speed he was. He went 23.46 to the first quarter. And one of the neat things when you see a horse of this quality that can have plenty left of the tank running through the stretch, Dick, he is in full flight to the wire. And at 2 to 5 pays $2.80 to win. But boy, was that fun to watch.
Yeah, it was almost unfair. You almost never see these sprint races where a horse goes faster the last quarter than the first quarter. 22.94 for the final quarter mile. Now, the final time wasn't that great, 109.61, and the reason was the first fraction was so slow, he couldn't come home any faster. So you know me and speed figures, I would not judge this horse by the speed figure because he really couldn't get one. Just, I think judge him closer to that 112. I don't know if this is Matoli or not, to be determined, but this is a really talented horse, and Whitmore comes on to run second and does not like really to run inside horses, likes to loop the field. He was inside the whole time, and he was still running hard at the finish.
Grade 1 Vanderbilt goes to Asmussen again. What another top sprinter he's got. Dick, let's take a look at a race earlier on the program. It was the Grade 2 Boston Spa on the grass. It's the fillies and mares. The return of Sister Charlie for Chad Brown. Dick, she is obviously a turf champion. But the question becomes, and again, you're going to take 2 to 5 at the windows. Did Chad want to win the Grade 2 Boston Spa, or does he want to win the Grade 1 Diana in a few weeks?
Yeah, I mean, he likes those Grade 1s. Of course, he just got his 100th recently. It's hard to believe. I mean, nobody faster to 100 than Chad. But yeah, no, it's a legitimate question. The last time we saw Sister Charlie was in the Breeders' Cup. Keith, she didn't have that same pop at the end of the year. Now she's 6. Now she hasn't run since November, and you're taking 2 to 5. But that's the problem with Chad. You're never going to get the right price, but if you start betting against him, you lose.
Second choice, number 6, Starship Jubilee is 3 to 1. You talk a horse that has some pop. Look at the record she's compiled lately.
What a story this is, Keith. This horse was claimed on February 12th of 2017 for $16,000. And since then has won 8 graded stakes, including a Grade 1.
The E.P. Taylor. Let's take a look at the Boston Spa. Sister Charlie is 2 to 5.
North Broadway on top here. North Broadway opening up by 5. Call Me Love is running in second. And then Starship Jubilee, followed by Sister Charlie and Bramble Queen, and they've reached the backstretch after a quarter in 24 1/5 seconds. North Broadway, the stablemate of the big favorite Sister Charlie, has really opened up here. It is North Broadway in front by about 10 lengths. And then it is Call Me Love in second, Starship Jubilee next in third, Sister Charlie still racing in fourth here, and a Bramble Queen. The half was running 48 seconds. North Broadway will take the field into the far turn. It's North Broadway in front. The lead is now about 6 lengths as they go around the far turn. Call Me Love is getting closer in second. Starship Jubilee. Sister Charlie asks for more now on the outside. And Bramble Queen's at the back, 3/4 in 1:12 3. They've closed in, and now they're passing North Broadway. Here's Call Me Love. Here's Starship Jubilee. And on the outside, it is Sister Charlie as the field comes down for the 8th pole. On the inside, Call Me Love. And on the outside, it is Starship Jubilee. Starship Jubilee now takes the lead from Call Me Love. Sister Charlie is in third. They come for the finish in the Boston Spa, and it's going to be Starship Jubilee.
Well, Dick, you questioned whether Sister Charlie had that same pop. Dick, she didn't even hit the exact here. Yeah. She ends up finishing third. Another victory for Starship Jubilee. She holds on to win it by a neck and pays $8.20 to win. Another victory for Starship Jubilee.
Yeah, it's 15 wins and $1.5 million in earnings. It's that $16,000 claim.
Dick, let's take a look at the Sunday feature at Saratoga. The Grade 2 Bernard Baruch. We're on the grass here again. 1 mile at 1/16 for $150,000. Chad has the favorite again here. Number 2, Good Governance. 8 to 5 is the price. A lightly raced 4-year-old who looked good in his 4-year-old debut.
Yeah, I mean, he was won by 3 3/4 and an A other than at 1 to 2. But again, it's Chad A other than to a Grade 2 stake. Anybody else, this horse should be 5 to 1. Chad favorite.
Second choice, number 6, Halliday is 2 to 1 for trainer Todd Pletcher, putting up some big numbers down at Gulfstream Park, but Dick's still looking for that first graded victory.
He is. He's 5 for 10 on grass, solid, but yeah, is he going to be good enough to win one of these graded stakes?
Grade 2 Bernard Baruch, here's the call.
Some Like It Hot Brown has the lead over Halliday. The opening quarter, 24 3/5 seconds, and they're on the backstretch now. Some Like It Hot Brown leads by 2, with Halliday giving chase in second. Good Governance down on the inside in third. Mr. Dumas is next in fourth. It's 4 lengths to Olympico and 4 more to Seismic Wave, and now they're midway up the backstretch. Some Like It Hot Brown shows the way here. Some Like It Hot Brown is the leader by 2.5 lengths over Halliday. And then Good Governance in third, about 3.5 from the front. On the outside is Mr. Dumas. Then farther back, Olympico and Seismic Wave. It is still Some Like It Hot Brown, the one to catch, leads by a length. Halliday getting closer now on the outside. Here comes Halliday up to challenge Some Like It Hot Brown. Mr. Dumas on the outside. Good Governance has had a good trip and is looking for a way through now. 3/4 went in 1:12 2. The field is in the stretch. Some Like It Hot Brown. Halliday on the outside. Then Good Governance. Mr. Dumas and Olympico. They're coming for the 16th pole. Some Like It Hot Brown trying to do it wire to wire, and Some Like It Hot Brown is going to do it.
Well, Dick, we talk about long shot winners, and this is one that you could have had at 8 to 1. Number 3, Some Like It Hot Brown, the son of Big Brown, trained by Mike Maker, gets to the front, doesn't look back, wins by a length, pays $19.60 to win. Last time out going longer, almost held on, was beaten by Instilled Regard by only a length and a quarter. This is an improving turf horse.
Yeah, no doubt. Got loose, couldn't catch him. 101 buyer, Mike Baker,
yes.
8 to 1 on a long turf race. Really? I mean, yeah, where were we, Keith?
Well, let's get to our next break. We come back here on Let's Go Racing. We talked about Lupe. Could he be our trainer of the week?
I think so.
I bet we come back after this.
Turning for Home is a nonprofit that has provided nearly 2,800 former racehorses with a safe retirement. The program was created through the foresight of the Pennsylvania Thoroughbred Horsemen's Association.
We all love animals, and to give back to something that helps us so much, it's a great thing.
Responding to the need for a better system that addressed the uncertain future for the retiring equine population at Parks Racing, the PTHA rallied horsemen to support the program.
These horses can do anything from hunter jump jumpers to Western to therapeutic riding.
Turning for Home became the first on-track retirement program at our year-round racetrack.
We want to make sure that our horses that have run so well for us over the years get the great opportunity to get a new vocation.
Out of everything that we've done in Pennsylvania for racing, I think that's the thing we can be most proud of.
If you would like to help these amazing animals find a great second career and forever home, please give us a call or contact us at turningforhome.org.
Welcome back, everyone, to Park Station for Let's Go Racing, our Jockey Trade of the Week, brought to you by the great Turning for Home program. Log on to their website at turningforhome.org and get involved with Turning for Home today. And Dick, you talk about hot. How about our man Michael Sanchez? He only has 9 wins over the last 3 days. Every time you look up, he's in the winner's circle. Michael is our Jockey of the Week and our Trainer of the Week, as you mentioned, back to back last week for Lupe. Lupe is our Trainer of the Week.
Right, Lupe brought horses back from Florida, and he is hot.
3 in a row doesn't happen too often. Dick, let's get to race recap, brought to you by Pewter Stable. Log on to their website at pewterstable.com and become an owner today. Let's take a look at Del Mar. It's the grade 2 Eddie Reed, 1 mile and 1/8 for $200,000. Deck number 7, United, tremendous grass horse, 7-5 for trainer Dick Vandella. They wondered whether the turn back in distance might be a problem. Maybe not.
Yeah, no problem. Flavian Pratt's one of the smartest jockeys in the country, Keith, and he put him right in the race. So it wasn't going to be just a sprint to the finish, and he was going to have to make up 3 lengths. They were going to have to catch him. He got the lead, and nobody was going to catch United in the stretch because he's got that big, long stride. In fact, it's such a big, long stride, he was almost good enough to beat Brooks and Mortar at 50-1 in the Breeders' Cup Turf. Thankfully for me, and those who had that exacta 9-3, he had to settle for second.
$4.80 to win on United. Dick, let's take a look at Ion Racing this week. It's another big weekend with some big names going at it. Midnight Bisou is going to be up at Saratoga. We have the Whitney with Tom's D'Etat, who looks like he's just a monster. And then Sunday tomorrow is Bing Crosby and our guy McKenzie. All this weekend.
Yeah, it's interesting. McKenzie dropping back to 6 furlongs. I think you can make a case that today Tom's D'Etat is the best horse in the country.
And he's up at Saratoga at the Whitney. We'll have that, of course, for you next week here on the show. We'll wrap it up. News and notes. Stay with us. We will be right back after this.
The Pennsylvania Thoroughbred Horsemen's Association is the advocate for Parks Racing's horsemen and has worked hard to secure better lives for the hundreds of trainers and their families that work in the thoroughbred racing industry. Our horsemen benefit from medical coverage, trainer pension plans, and increased purses. Thanks to these horsemen, racing at Parks is the very best, providing entertainment for you and the entire family. The Pennsylvania Horsemen are proud to be part of the community and introduce a new generation of fans to the sport of kings.
Welcome back, everyone, to Park Station for Let's Go Racing. News and Notes is our final segment, brought to you by the Granny Fund. Help out with continued education on the backstretch. Do it at the Granny Fund. He's Bruce Casella, Dick Jardy, Keith Jones. And Dick, I want to revisit Ion Racing here because I missed the Alan Jerkins little local action.
Yeah, Mischievous Alex will go in that race, and if he runs well, John Service is thinking maybe Pat Day Mile on Derby Day. They're not really thinking the Kentucky Derby, but first things first, Mischievous Alex, really good 3-year-old. Runs in the Alan Jerkins today at the Spa.
He was a little bit out of his comfort zone last time out. See if he can't come back with a big victory up at Saratoga. Join us here for racing Monday through Wednesday at 12:55. Enjoy the simulcast. Come out this weekend. Great racing action. We'll see you next week here on Let's Go Racing.